I'm something of a nerd in that I get very excited when I find a great value buy. Some brands are just so reliable and provide so much return on my investment that they build an almost unbreakable bond. And when it comes to motor vehicles, it turns out my top pick is backed by hard data. Now, according to the most recent JD Power and Associates survey, there are two car brands in particular that stand head and shoulders above the rest when it comes to reliability. At number 2 is Toyota, and I can vouch for this. My 2015 Corolla is nearing 200,000 kilometers on the odometer, and all I've ever had to replace are brakes and tires. Now, my love of Toyota was inherited to some extent. My parents had a similarly positive experience with a Camry they bought when I was a preteen. And at number 1 is Lexus, which is owned by Toyota. Now, there's a big mushy middle in those rankings, which we'll get to in a moment, and it may be that you're willing to accept a slightly higher risk of mechanical problems for a vehicle that looks cool or a brand you have a long relationship with. But what are the brands that the rankings suggest you should avoid at all costs? Let's talk about those now. So the JD Power survey collected responses from over 30,000 people and asked them to identify problems they'd run into across 9 categories, including interior, exterior, seats, infotainment, powertrain, and others. And they ranked each automaker based on the number of problems reported per 100 vehicles. Now, as I mentioned, Lexus came out on top with Toyota ranked second. Buick, Chevrolet, and Mini rounded out the top 5. Now, surprisingly, some of the brands that had the most problems reported were also some of the most expensive to buy. Now, coming in dead last was Chrysler, which jives with the constant complaints I hear from people in my life about their dud minivans breaking down all the time. But Audi surprisingly came in second last, with Land Rover also landing on the podium of shame. So here's the full list if you want to take a look at it. Now, I'm sure I'll get some comments on this video from Ford or Volkswagen owners claiming I've had my car for 20 years and it has 700,000 miles on it and I've never had a problem. Now, that may be so, but it kind of reminds me of those people who say their grandma lived to 90 despite drinking heavily every day and being a chain smoker. There are always outliers. But I'm a big data guy, and in this case, the data backs up my unassailable position, which is that Toyota rules. Now, what car do you own and how's it worked out for you? Please let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll talk to you again soon.